Welcome to another 21 Hats Dashboard, brought to you by our sponsor, The Great Game of Business. I'm Loren Feldman, and I'm here with Gene Marks. Welcome, Gene.
Welcome back to you, Loren. Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you again. I miss you whenever we don't do this.
I miss you.
Shucks. Gene, you wrote recently that Black Friday is the biggest shopping day of the year, but it's not just about the sales. What were you talking about?
No, it is not. And this is a piece. I forget where I wrote this out. The Guardian, I think. Entrepreneur. It was Entrepreneur. That's exactly it. So, Black Friday is the end of this week. It is a huge shopping day, followed by Small Business Saturday, which some people are saying is even going to be even bigger than Black Friday. I think that's great. If you are a business and you are taking advantage of either Black Friday or Small Business Saturday, here's what I've seen my smartest clients do. Yeah, they sell and they have their promotions and they draw people in, but their thing is about data, Loren. Here is like these national events that's designed to draw in people into your place of business. Some, hopefully many of them buy, but some won't. But regardless, you absolutely should be collecting data on these people because it's not just about Black Friday or Small Business Saturday. It is literally about January and February. You want to
revenue is today, data is forever.
That is correct. And I've learned this. Basically, you've got people coming in on Black Friday that you can be doing specific things with. You can, hey, join my VIP club, or if you've got a loyalty app, have them, download it and they can get a special discount. Or if you're planning an event, hey, sign up here and you can come to an event, that we're doing that we're going to be giving away some free stuff as it is, there's a bunch of different ways, you can, and if you do this, you can partner with other people in your area to do the same thing and then maybe share the data, but it's about the data, right? So
is that okay?
Yeah, sure. As long as that's,
if somebody opts in with you, it's okay, but can you share it with someone else?
As long as you disclose it. If you can say like, hey, if you're opting in, I'm also going to be sharing it with other, businesses here. Is that okay? And it's all opt-in. It has to be opt-in. So you bring up a very, very good point that you can't be stealing data from people. You have to be, asking for their permission. But the bottom line is that you got to get that data. And in that way, you can build up your community with them. You can be emailing these people, obviously. You can be using their data to reach out to them on social, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook. You could be running lookalike Facebook campaigns against their data to like promote certain products and stuff that you're doing.
Lookalike meaning that Facebook knows the demographics of these customers and it'll find you another set of customers with similar demographics.
It'll find you those customers and another set of customers. So if I upload your name as a lookalike campaign and then I do an ad for products, that ad's going to go in front of you if you're on Facebook. But then if there's other people that are like particularly good looking former editors that live in Princeton and they happen to have that demographic on Facebook, they'll be found as well. And they will also be able to see your ads. But you can't do any of this without collecting the data. And that should be your biggest priority during Black Friday and Small Business Saturday.
Does this have meaning for non-retailers as well, or for retailers not during the holiday season?
Yes and no. When you're talking about B2B businesses, it's really, really tough to take advantage of Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. Let's admit these are Main Street promotional days. You know what I mean?
But leave aside that, there's a data play for B2B businesses as well, isn't there?
Yeah, no doubt. I do that all the time. I look for data, from clients and non-clients all the time and ask them to opt in and whatever. I got you ever get like an email and like somebody, dopily puts like everybody's email address in the two columns. You can see everybody's email,
Yes.
I've been known to scrape that data and then reach out to people on that list and say, hey, we've got a great newsletter. If you'd like to opt in, if you'd like to subscribe to it, here you go, So sometimes I get aggressive. I think the data is so important to look for leads, and it is all about future work, and that's why it's important to accumulate it.
It's not the economy stupid anymore. It's the data stupid.
It is. It really is.
All right, next topic. You wrote a piece recently about how in their respective trials, both Sam Bankman-Fried and Donald Trump tried to blame their problems on their accountants. I think you, as an accountant yourself, kind of took that personally. Am I right?
Yeah, it's accountants. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I don't know. My name is Donald Trump. I run a big organization. I never look at my financial statements. The accountants, they put this stuff together, and then and it is what it is. When I see stuff like that, I fume. I really do. It is maybe because I'm grown up as an auditor, so I kind of know what the drill is. The point of this piece in the Guardian is that Trump, Samuel Bankman-Fried, they're so wrong. If you're running a company, if it's your company, it's your data, it's your financial statements, it's your tax returns. When you have your accountant prepare your tax return at the end of the year, and they sign off on it, and they sign the return as the preparer of the tax return underneath your signature because it's your tax return. Trust me when I tell you, you don't have to trust me on this. If there's a problem in your tax return, the IRS ain't going after your accountant. They're going after you. Right? It's your tax return. Now, maybe you can turn around and go after your accountant, but that's between you and your accountant, Well,
let me ask you this. I want to get past Sam Bankman-Fried and Donald Trump and discuss, just as you just did, the case of somebody who owns a business. If you're giving your accountant fraudulent numbers, clearly that's on you. But here's what was interesting to me about your column. You wrote, but let's say there's a problem with your tax return. Maybe your tax professional made a mistake, or was negligent, or wasn't up to date on the rules. Let's say this problem resulted in you owing more money to the IRS, or even, if serious enough, it results in the IRS taking you to court. Who's ultimately responsible for this problem? Is it your accountant? Nope. It's you. And my question, exactly did you mean that there's no recourse whatsoever?
Well,
is there no...
No. I meant with the IRS.
With the IRS. You're saying you signed it, they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
But if your accountant was negligent, you then have to deal with them.
That is correct. And that's a whole separate issue, and one that, you may or may not prevail on, but it still does not belie the fact that the IRS are the one, they're going to come after you. They couldn't care less about your accountant. They just care less if there's wrong information on your tax return, and it's your tax return. You signed it. And by the way, that has to do with us as individuals as well as our business. People don't realize that when you have outside people that prepare your these documents, their liability is limited to what you're going after. I mean, the whoever you're sending these documents are, they're only concerned about you. By the way, the same thing has to do with financial statements. I mean, you have an accountant, they do a review or an audit of your financials. You send that to the bank. First of all, if you read the auditor's opinion or the review opinion, it basically says, we've done this work, but we take absolutely no responsibility for it. I mean, it's literally in their audit opinion. And on top of that, when you have an outside accounting firm that you're using, they're going to ask you to sign what's called a representation letter. It is a standard practice in any audit or review. And that representation letter basically says, I'm the owner. I'm responsible for the financials. I provided you with all the right information. I disclosed everything to you, the accountant. I gave you all that you needed to do your job. And in the end, this is all on me. And you sign that representation letter before they issue their opinion. It's basically the accountant saying, hey, we did our stuff, but man, this is yours, and we're going to wipe our hands clean. And if we find anywhere that you didn't provide the right information or it was incorrect or whatever, then you just lost your case if you try and sue us. I'm only telling you, that's the way the accounting profession works. So you're on your own, Bob.
Well, let me ask you this then. If most business owners are not accountants, you happen to be one, which I'm sure is a big advantage to you. But if you're not an accountant and you're not familiar with tax returns and you're not really qualified to make sure that they're done properly, when your accountant gives it back to you and tells you to sign it, should you just sign it, or should you hire another accountant to review it and make sure it's okay?
I mean, no, you don't have to hire another accountant, but I can tell you this much. Whenever I hear people say like, I don't understand accounting, or I'm not, whatever, it's not, it's a mystery to me. It's such a bunch of bullshit. I mean, my son is a mechanical engineer. Okay. So he helps design, he works for like Microsoft, and I've seen some of the designs that he looks at. oh my God, it is like, it's like, cryptic. I can't even understand how these engineers do stuff. Doctors the same way. Trust me when I tell you, accountants are not that smart. The work that we do, it's not that difficult to understand. People they put such a high level of expertise on accountants, as if we're doing something that's magic. Engineers and doctors perform magic, not accountants. And the reason why I tell you this is because if you're going to run a business, you need to know accounting. You need to know the math. You need to have a basic understanding of your financial statements and your tax returns and how they work. Enough to ask questions about them. Ask any investor, any CEO, competent CEO. They understand their numbers. And trust me, most CEOs are not accountants. They're basically sales and marketing people that made their way up through the organization, but they're smart enough to understand what their P&L says. And another comment on that, if you're a CEO of a company and there's, you have your quarterly earnings call, you've got analysts and people that are asking you, the CEO, questions about your financial statements. They have an expectation that you understand what's in your financials. They're not, you can't be like, oh, well, the accountants do that. I don't really get it. I know I'm the CEO of Target, but
well, we're not talking about Target here.
Well, any company, it's the same thing.
Well,
listen, Loren, you're not a mechanic. You're driving your car. The mechanic forgot to put in a piece, a part, and you break down on the highway in the middle of the night. Okay, who's suffering because of that? Your mechanic's fast asleep. Where are you? You're out there in the car in the middle of the night. You get me? You get me?
No, I understand completely. I'm just saying my expectations for the expertise level when it comes to accounting of a Target CEO versus a Main Street small business CEO is different.
Shouldn't be any different. Shouldn't be any different.
Really?
You're a Main Street CEO.
Do you believe, think about you have a lot of clients.
Yep.
Do most of your clients fit that description?
My good ones do. Yeah, my good ones do. They
understand the numbers. And what percentage is that?
Yeah. That's a tough one. What percentage of my clients are really competent? It's always the 20-80 rule.
There you go. Okay. That's my point.
I'm not saying that the majority of businesses do that, but I am saying that they're wrong for not.
Okay. I'll buy that. Last topic.
Yep.
You wrote recently that you are a big fan of shrinkflation as a pricing strategy. Tell us what shrinkflation is and then defend yourself. Why is it okay?
Yeah, well, if you buy a bag of Doritos used to be 9.75 ounces a couple of years ago. Now it's 9.25 ounces, but the price is.
And do you know that because you're a big fan of Doritos?
No, I know that because I did some research. Okay.
Okay.
If you buy Charmin toilet paper, they're mega rolls, right? They're 50% less sheets of toilet paper than what you saw a couple of years ago, but the price is the same. If you get chicken nuggets chicken wings from Domino's, you're literally getting a couple of less chicken wings in your carryout order.
Yeah, if you're getting chicken wings from Domino's, you deserve what you get.
I couldn't agree with you more. Who is getting chicken wing from Domino's? I mean, it's a pizza chain. So yeah, you get what you deserve. But the bottom line is that many major brands and a lot of my smartest clients have realized that a good pricing strategy is shrinkflation. You go to a hotel nowadays, a chain hotel. Used to be they would provide housekeeping. So you try and find a housekeeper while you're living there. You have to where are they? They would leave chocolates on your bed and individual gifts and trinkets in the bathroom. Now it's like big tubs of shampoo and body wash. It's all shrinkflation. It's just delivering a little bit less for the same price. And restaurants are a big, ask anybody running a restaurant. 2 years ago, you're getting 4 meatballs instead of 3. Oh, sorry, you're getting 3 meatballs instead of 4, right? You get the point.
Well, let me ask you this. You wrote in the piece, if this sounds unethical or immoral, it's not. In fact, it's being practiced all over the place by some of the world's largest brands.
And I just gave you a few.
Is that the right test? If Walmart does it, it's okay?
Are you saying that Walmart might have some business practices that one would?
I'm not sure that they're the North Star that we should all follow.
Not a bad comment. I get it. I mean, I don't want to hold up to our largest brands as being like the saviors of ethics and morality in this country, but they're doing it. They are doing it, and it is not. I guess the point that I'm making is that it's certainly not illegal. I don't think it's unethical either. I think it's
well. There you go again. No one's breaking any laws. Again, that seems like a low bar.
Fair enough, but listen, for you're selling a product or a service at a price, and you can determine what that product or service is. It's completely up to you. By the way, I've spoken about this to other groups, and they'll be like manufacturing groups, and they'll be like, okay, well, how do we, okay, it's fine for a restaurant maybe, or, Doritos, but what about us? And one big area I see people practicing shrinkflation, just to give you a real life example, B2B, is freight. Used to be a few years ago, you'd be like, yeah, we'll ship it to you anywhere, or we'll pay for the cost of shipping. Now I'm seeing a lot of my clients being like, yeah, shipping now not included, or only if you're within a 10-mile radius. Price is the same, but shipping's not included. That's shrinkflation. That's the same concept.
I think in that case, it's probably pretty clear what the business is doing, and no one's getting fooled by it. I think the danger here, obviously people have the right to set a price, and they can set it where they want. You don't want people trying to fool their customers. That's probably not going to end well. Do you share that concern?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a real trying to fool customers. I think actually, I think some people can make the argument that they're trying to best serve their customers. If a customer has a budget, it's funny when you talk about pricing things. Like when I price out jobs, Loren, say somebody wants to buy a CRM product from me, and we'll be like, okay, well, to do the implementation, it's going to be $5,000. And then they come back and they're like, that's too much, And so then we'll be like, well, how much can you spend? We can spend 3,000. Okay. Well, then we'll do this for 3,000, a little bit less. You know what I mean? I don't think that's any different than a restaurateur saying, you say, listen, your budget is $15 for spaghetti and meatballs. I want to make sure I keep it within your budget, but I'm going to just give you, one less meatball. You know what I mean? So, that's what it is. They're matching whatever the budget is for people in these times of, higher costs and trying to make it more accommodating. Otherwise, people just walk away if they start charging $17 or $18 because of that meatball. Some people will be like, it's too much. And then not only does the restaurateur not get his business, but the customer doesn't get any meatballs at all.
So long as everybody knows what's going on, the business has a right to charge what it wants to charge, and the customer has a right to walk away.
Yeah. So now, and I'm just seeing a lot of businesses charge, same price for a little bit less.
Is there a version of shrinkflation for consultants like you?
Yeah, less services. For example, when we used to include travel time, or not charge for it. Now we charge for travel time. You know what I mean? So it's the same kind of cost. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like,
but you let your customer know that.
Well, not on, only if it's changed with an existing customer. When you have new customers and new clients, they don't know any difference. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they don't know what you were charging or not charging for before. You're just saying this is what we're charging for now.
Right. But they know. You give them a price and you say we're also going to charge you for travel.
Yeah.
So that's completely above board.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right. I guess we're kind of on the same page there.
I guess. Listen, I'm gonna. You're way more ethical than I am, Loren. Okay, we'll just agree on that. Okay.
Okay.
I would have you babysit my kids if I had grandkids. Okay.
So shucks. I'd do it because they're all in their 20s, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. We ain't seen any grandkids for a while. You met my kids. You're not going to happen for
Your kids are delightful. What are you working on, Gene? Do you know what you're going to be publishing this coming week?
I'm going to be busy on Thanksgiving week. I'm going to be this week. I'm writing about what Philly businesses in a certain neighborhood are doing for Small Business Saturday. I'm writing whether or not Bidenomics has had an impact on the state of Pennsylvania businesses. I'm going to write for The Hill this week on. You and I will have a good conversation about this, about some of the people in 2024 who will most impact your business. So I've got a few names that will literally, based on their activities, are going to impact me personally and you. So we'll talk about that as well. And I'm writing a piece for the Chicago Daily Herald. What? Who? The Chicago Daily Herald on work from home. So I'm going to be busy this week doing a lot of.
Is there really a Chicago Daily Herald?
There is. It does exist, and there are like 6 or 7 readers of it, and they love it. Okay, and I'll be on Fox News on Thursday and Fox News again on Friday. They call me when during the.
You're going to be on Fox News on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day and Friday because they call me when they can't get any other guests. I'm like 87 in line, and they're like,
I think that's Fox News version of shrinkflation. On
yeah,
you get Gene Marks today.
We're delivering like a little bit less content, but for the same price. We're gonna have Gene on, so it'll be 11 a.m. on Friday Eastern, and then 3 o'clock. I'm sorry, 11 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day and 3 o'clock on Friday. Okay. No politics. We're talking business. Okay.
No offense. I will not be watching on Thanksgiving Day.
I got you. I'll send you a clip. Okay, Loren.
Thank you, Gene. Gene Marks is a CPA who writes weekly on small business for The Guardian, The Hill, The Philadelphia Inquirer, The Washington Times, The Chicago Daily Herald, Forbes, and Entrepreneur. You can also hear him on ABC Radio's Eye on the World with John Batchelor. Gene hosts 2 small business podcasts with Paychex Corporation and The Hartford. This episode was brought to you by The Great Game of Business, which helps businesses use an open book management system to help build healthier companies. You can learn more at greatgame.com. Thank you, Gene. I'm grateful that you take the time to do this as often as you do. Have a great Thanksgiving.
I love it. You too, Loren. We will see you again next week, I hope.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.